My cheekbones look really nice in this video, see? Hey y'all, it's Brody, and today I'm here to bring you my Reading Rush TBR. If you're not aware, the Reading Rush, formerly known as the Booktubeathon, is hosted by two booktubers named Ariel and Raylene. I will leave information linked down below. The Reading Rush website, channels, stuff like that. Make sure you go check that out. The Reading Rush runs from July 20th to the 27th, and the unofficial goal is to read 7 books in 7 days. I have never failed at the Reading Rush. I have always managed to read 7 books in 7 days. We're gonna see. We're gonna pray. We're gonna hope I can get shit done because I'm in a reading slump right now. So while I do plan on trying to complete the 7 books in 7 days unofficial challenge, I do have some books that fit multiple prompts, and then everything else will just be extras that I can kind of switch out if I want to. So I'm just going to go book by book and then tell you what prompts they cover. First book I have is The Deck of Omens by Christine Lynn Herman. This is a sequel to Devouring Grey, which I read in 2019. It follows a group of teenagers who are descendants of the founding families of this town called Four Paths. They all have magical powers. There's a monster that's trying to kill people. There's cults. Everyone's queer. We love it. This is the sequel to it, so I want to read the sequel. Completes 2 prompts of read a book that matches your birthstone. I was born in September. My birthstone is a sapphire. You can see there's some very pretty dark blues on here. This cover is gorgeous. And the second prompt that this covers is to read a book. This title starts with the word the. So cute. The second book is one that I've owned for a hot minute and I have been wanting to read forever, and that is Close to Shore, The Terrifying Shark Attacks of 1916. This is a nonfiction story following the shark attacks of 1916, where a rogue great white started attacking swimmers on the New Jersey shoreline. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this was like the first real documentation of like the shark craze, I guess. Basically what I'm trying to say is that this account inspired the shark horror, like they want to kill us type thing. So what I'm saying is movies like Jaws, movies like The Shallows, or you know, all of the shark films, this inspired that like phenomenon, that entire genre. So this completes the prompt of a book that has inspired a movie you've already seen, because like I said, this story inspired all of those works. Unofficially, but yes. It also completes the prompt of reading a book from a genre that you've always wanted to read more from. I have always said that I wanted to read more nonfiction, so here we go. The Majesties by Tiffany Zhao. I started this book in the end of June, and I did not DNF it. I don't ever officially DNF books. I just didn't get that far into it. I have full intentions of completing this book. I love what I read. I'm just in a reading slump, so I want to kind of knock this out of the park. It's a pretty short adult thriller about a woman whose sister poisons the entire family. It's been described as like Crazy Rich Asians, but with familicide, and I'm very into that idea. Poison is one of my favorite things in books for some weird reason. I love poisons and diseases and toxins and venomous creatures and all that. So this book hooked me in. The description, look at that cover. It completes the prompt of reading a book that is from a different continent than one you live on. This book takes place in a couple of different locations, but mentioned in the blurb, Indonesia, Paris Fashion Week, also California, Melbourne. So it takes place all over. Also, it has a little bit of sapphire on there, and it starts with the word the. Next, we have the prompt of reading a book entirely outside of your home. We're in a global pandemic. This has been addressed already by Raylene and Ariel. They have said that they want you to kind of interpret the challenge your own way, because I am an essential worker. I am outside of my home for many hours a day. So I have a short story collection, anthology, type deal, and that is Maiden Mother Crone. This is edited by Gwen Benaway. It is Fantastical Trans Femmes. So this is a collection of 11 short stories, all by trans femme authors, that deal with fantasy and magic. It says it is the first anthology by trans femme authors to explore the realms of magic, supernatural beings, and alternative universes. So, I'm very excited to read this. Under 150 pages. I can knock this out with a couple of lunch breaks at work. The prompt that hasn't been mentioned yet is one that I was unsure how to do. It's read the first book you touch. What I originally planned to do was go to the bookstore, close my eyes, touch a book. I can't do that right now, especially not in a global pandemic. I have this collection of mysteries by Edgar Allan Poe. So what I have decided that I'm going to do is I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to flip to a random page, and whatever story I touch is what I'm going to be reading for the reading rush. I've been trying to make my way through this year. I'm very behind on it. I think I'm like 3 stories behind. But I decided that will be like a fun little way to interpret the challenge in a fair way, because I feel like if I set books down, I'll know the order that I put them in, like, so I can just pick out the one I want to read the most. But I think if I like close my eyes, because I don't know what pages what stories are on, obviously, so I'm just gonna do that right quick. So we're just gonna, I don't have any bookmarks in here, do I? I don't want you to think I'm cheating. No bookmarks. I landed on page 109. That is the story The Gold Bug. Let me flip to the title page for The Gold Bug. Alright, so there we go. That's the story I will be reading. How many pages is that? 89 to 125. That's not bad. And the final 2 books I'm going to try and read to complete the unofficial prompt of reading 7 books in 7 days. I have Pet by Akweke Emezi. This, I know, follows a deaf trans black girl who lives in a world where, like, all the monsters are supposed to be gone, but they're not. So basically, Jam is our main character, and Jam and her friends have been told their whole lives, you know, the monsters don't exist anymore. But then, one day, a monster named Pet comes out of a painting, and Jam has to come to terms with the fact that, like, a monster still exists, try to protect her best friend, handle the whole monster thing that's going on. I'm excited to read this. It's really short. I think that Pet will go over well for me. I've heard great things about it, because I believe you should always have a graphic novel or a comic or a manga during readathons, is Moonshot. This is the Indigenous Comics collection, so this is volume 1 of 3. This is a collection of comics, so it's short stories told in comic form by Indigenous authors with Indigenous illustrators. I've been wanting to read it for a while now. So, those are all the books I plan to read for the reading rush. Will I read all of them? No. I reserve the right to switch up my TBR at any time, to do some challenges, to not do some challenges. I've tried to combine as many challenges as I can and give myself as many outs as I can, but hopefully it'll work out well. I plan on vlogging as well, if that works out, so that could be fun. We will vlog. I do have a sneaky secret plan, just in case it doesn't work out, because like I said, I'm very competitive, and I've never not won the reading rush, so if worst comes to worst, I have a plan, and I hope it doesn't come to that, but if it does, then it does. Okay. Comment question of the day. If you are participating in the reading rush, let me know what book you're most excited about and what challenge you found the most difficult, because I did find the challenges a little bit harder this year. So yeah, let me know down there. If you're not participating, or you just don't want to answer the comment question, you don't have the spoons, you want to come back and do it later, you know the drill. Leave me a heart emoji, preferably a yellow one, so I know that you made it all the way until the end. If you've read any of the books that I have mentioned today, let me know your thoughts on them down in the comments. Just make sure you keep them spoiler free, because I have not read them. I do not want to get spoiled. If you do that, screw you. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful whatever it is, wherever you are. And we'll see you next time with another video. Thank you for watching. Okay.